Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something massive happening inside India's tech ecosystem, something that's going to shape how global enterprises run, scale, innovate, and build with AI over the next decade. Because while the rest of the world has been arguing about model benchmarks and AGI predictions, India's global capability centers, the GCCs, have quietly flipped the switch from testing AI to deploying AI at enterprise scale, and the numbers behind it are honestly wild. This isn't just a story about generative AI anymore. This is about agentic AI, autonomous systems that plan, act, improve, and operate like digital employees, and how India has suddenly become the global command center for this entire movement. And the data coming out of the EY GCC Pulse Survey 2025 paints a very clear picture. Companies aren't just dabbling in AI anymore. They're rebuilding the entire operating model around it. So let's break down what's actually happening, what these numbers really mean, and why India's GCC ecosystem has suddenly turned into the world's innovation engine. Before we do a deep dive, I want to remind you to kindly subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon. Now, back to the story. The first thing that jumps out in the new data is just how quickly the shift from experimentation to real adoption has happened. Last year, 37% of GCCs were running Gen AI pilots. This year it's already 43%. But the real headline isn't the pilot phase, it's the fact that 83% of GCCs are actively investing in Gen AI right now, and a massive 58% are already putting money specifically into Agentic AI, the next evolution where AI stops being a helper and starts becoming a worker, and it doesn't stop there. Another 29% say they're going to scale Agentic AI initiatives in the next 12 months. That means by this time next year, nearly 9 out of 10 GCCs in India will be running some flavor of autonomous AI systems inside the enterprise. That is a massive shift. But the stats get even deeper. GCCs aren't just deploying AI in one or two nice-to-have areas. They're going straight for the core enterprise functions. Customer service is seeing the highest activity. 65% of GCCs are using Gen AI there. Finance is next with 53%, operations right behind at 49%, and IT plus cybersecurity at 45%. These are systems that run global corporations, not small side projects. On top of that, business intelligence adoption has jumped from 80% to 86%, and the number of centers with an actual data strategy jumped from 51% to 67%. Those numbers tell a very clear story. Companies are re-architecting their data foundations to support AI at scale. The other fascinating trend is how India's GCCs are shifting from being execution hubs to becoming innovation command centers for entire companies. Two-thirds of GCCs, 67%, have already set up dedicated innovation teams and incubation programs so they can ideate, test, and scale AI-driven solutions directly from India. And global headquarters are taking notice. Over half of India-based centers, 52%, now hold shared accountability for global decision-making. Another 26% are formally consulted on enterprise-wide decisions, and a full 20% are on track to take end-to-end ownership of certain global functions. So what functions are actually shifting to India? According to the report, global strategy leadership is coming from Indian GCCs in 45% of surveyed organizations, and 35% say leadership pipeline development is also being driven from India. That's not outsourcing, that's not cost saving, that is global core leadership being built in GCCs. EY India's GCC leaders explained the shift well. Global enterprises want simpler operating models, tighter oversight, and a place where AI, data, and risk teams can all function in sync. And the truth is, India offers a combination of talent, cross-functional maturity, and an insanely fast-moving AI ecosystem that headquarters simply cannot replicate in other countries. That's why this momentum is accelerating. When you look at the next 12 months, the strategic priorities tell you exactly where this is all heading. 61% of GCC leaders say digital transformation is the #1 operating model priority. Cost reduction comes next at 54%, and expanding functional scope is right behind at 51%. And the budget numbers line up perfectly. Technology and transformation are getting the biggest share at 25%. and talent plus workforce development comes second at 23%. This is how you build organizations designed for AI-first operations. Even more impressive, 92% of centers say they want to deliver value beyond cost arbitrage, and 87% say they're planning to take end-to-end ownership of enterprise processes. In-house operations still dominate at 84%, but selective outsourcing is rising too, from 8% last year to 12% now, mostly for non-core tasks, so internal teams can double down on high-value AI and digital capabilities. And this leads directly into the talent strategy shift that's happening. GCCs are no longer obsessed with scaling headcount. They're obsessed with scaling capability. Reskilling sits at 71%. Tech-led growth is right behind at 70%. Hiring for niche skills is 63%. And the upskilling numbers are huge. 81% of GCCs are training teams on Gen AI. Deep domain expertise is a priority for 66%. AI and ML skills for 63%. And data engineering plus BI roles for 54%. You can also see all of this reflected in attrition. GCC attrition was 13% in 2023, it dropped to 11% in 2024, and this year it's at 9%, one of the lowest in the industry. When companies invest heavily in reskilling, long-term growth, and meaningful work, talent sticks. But everything we've talked about so far, innovation, autonomy, data strategy, enterprise expansion, all of it depends on one thing: governance and risk management, and that's where the report offers a pretty honest reality check. Most GCCs are still at moderate levels of cybersecurity maturity. Only 7% have a fully embedded center of excellence for cyber. That's extremely low for the pace at which AI adoption is accelerating. But there's progress too. Monitoring of third-party access to data jumped from 44% in 2024 to 60% this year, a huge increase that shows organizations understand how rising external dependencies also increase risk surface. On the regulatory side, transfer pricing continues to be the top concern at 63%, the same as last year. However, compliance complexity and data privacy worries have grown significantly, from 32% to 42%. Other areas actually got easier. SEZ and STPI regulation challenges fell to 22%, labor law concerns dropped to 20%, currency and repatriation issues fell to 17%, and double taxation concerns dropped to just 10%. Now, zooming back out, what does all of this mean? The story emerging here is that India's GCC ecosystem has entered a new chapter, one where AI isn't a tool sitting next to the workflow, but the engine driving the workflow. EY called it the shift from curiosity to commercialization, and that feels exactly right. GCCs aren't talking about experiments anymore. They're deploying real use cases that fundamentally change how work gets done across customer service, operations, finance, risk, IT, and cybersecurity. They're moving beyond cost advantage. They're becoming decision centers. And with 67% building dedicated innovation teams and 83% deep into Gen AI investments, they're actively shaping global enterprise strategy. Agentic AI in particular is the inflection point, when 58% of centers are already investing in autonomous AI systems and nearly 30% more plan to scale. It's clear where things are heading. Enterprises are designing workflows where humans supervise, approve, and steer direction, but AI agents handle execution, iteration, and optimization. This isn't future tech. This is literally the 2025 operating model. And with India supplying the talent, the systems, the innovation culture, and now the enterprise-wide responsibility, the GCC ecosystem is becoming the world's proving ground for how organizations will function in the AI era. That's the full breakdown of the new survey, and honestly, it shows just how fast the AI shift is happening inside large enterprises, and how central India has become to that transformation. If you enjoyed this video, then do like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon. Thanks for watching, this is AI Tides, and I'll see you in the next one.